20 years ago, we started the World Soundtrack Academy and the World Soundtrack Awards. In the beginning, it was quite unknown. It was just known by the inner crowd. But now it's the place to be for the film music industry.
Het team van het filmfestival heeft in de voorgeschiedenis heel wat filmconcerten georganiseerd. En we hebben dat in een eerste fase gedaan door de filmcompetitie die we hadden in het teken te stellen van de filmmuziek. En hebben we dan ook gezegd, waarom zouden we niet componisten uitnodigen om zelf een werk te komen dirigeren of althans aanwezig zijn bij de uitvoering van hun werken. Een van de uitschieters dat was Ennio Morricone en dat gaf ons veel stimulans om in die richting verder te gaan.
Queste serate in questa maniera per me servono a capire che la musica del cinema, scritta appositamente per il cinema, ha la possibilità di una sua vita autonoma.
Een groot moment in de evolutie van die filmmuziekconcerten was zeker het jaar 2000, wanneer we Hans Zimmer hebben gebracht.
I remember we had more than 200 musicians on stage. There was the Brussels Philharmonic. They were there from the very early days. There was an African choir. There were vocal artists. And for Hans, literally, it was the very first time that he performed live his music in such a musical environment.
What we've been trying to do is just keep orchestral music alive. I mean, this is a world-class orchestra.
And we have the exact replica of this gizmo for you from the Academy.
In those days, we were the very first film festival who were focusing on the impact of music in film.
The Flanders International Film Festival is the most important festival in the world as regards film music.
We were encouraged by composers and agents and people from the film business. Why not starting something like an academy or like a yearly event based on film music?
Ronnie Chasen was een publicist, een public relation en haar grootste klantenbestand was componisten. Dus hij was de ideale persoon om ons mee op die trein te trekken.
En dan kwam er een staflid, namelijk Christian de Schutter, met het goede idee, want waarom zouden we geen filmmuziekprijs geven?
En van daaruit is de Academy ontstaan en hebben we gaandeweg de prijzen bepaald en zijn de WSA's in 2001 voor de eerste keer doorgegaan.
Welcome to the World Soundtrack Awards.
As far as I recall, at that time, there was no other awards that were dedicated to music and film. But I think the idea and the concept of having an awards ceremony where the people who were voting were your peers, our other composers, industry professionals, makes it a very special award.
De belangrijkste troef van de Academy is de discovery, is het ontdekken van nieuw talent.
The Discovery of the Year Award goes to Abel Korselyevsky, Single Man.
Today, this award from the World Soundtrack Academy tells me, go ahead, keep going, and I thank you for this.
The next generation of composers is so important. I mean, it's fascinating looking back through the history of composers that have won that award, and you look at now and you go, well, that wasn't a newcomer, but you know, they were newcomers at the point that they won the award.
This is a very difficult work, and we are most of the time on our own and closed in the room.
In de wereld van de festivals worden acteurs, regisseurs uitgenodigd. That's it. Plotseling is daar een festival die zegt van, wij gaan u een podium geven, wij gaan u een professioneel orkest geven. En dat was voor de eerste keer dat die voelden van de reactie van hun publiek op wat dat zij geschreven hadden.
Hearing your music in a studio and then hearing it in front of an audience, of course, is a completely different experience. There is that visceral response you get when a bunch of human beings packed into a space.
Nous vivons les compositeurs comme les écrivains, enfermés dans notre studio de l'aube jusqu'à la nuit. Mais c'est pas un regret, c'est un choix. On ne peut pas vivre autrement, on ne peut pas faire autrement que d'être dans le silence et dans l'obscurité de nos studios. Donc c'est comme ça.
It's the first time for me in almost 30 years of composing for film that I've been in a setting where a substantial amount of my work has been performed, and I was not expecting the emotional response, so I apologize for that, but thank you.
Every year is different. We're always facing new problems, but interesting problems, and problems that we always solve. We are never looking for a fake solution. If a composer is asking for 50 timpani, he or she will have the 50 timpani. And that makes it very, very interesting.
For a while, I used to be at all the rehearsals for the WSA, and you look at the list of works to be rehearsed in a sort of a relatively short space of time, and Dirk's organisation of that rehearsal process is fantastic, leaving enough time for comments to be made, go over points that aren't, need rehearsal.
It sounded good right for the first time.
Yeah. Incredible, first rehearsal. Well, when you're dealing with such a good orchestra and good musicians, and if you have the right orchestrations and they're written properly, you don't have to tell them very much. Okay. They just see the music and they use their ears and their heart, and they have a good conductor. There you go. Life is good.
I think also the other important thing is that it does have a physical presence too. The fact that it provides a venue for a gathering where there are no agendas, everyone's on neutral ground, and I think that has meant that it's become a real placeholder in people's diaries, that if at all possible they want to be able to go to the World Soundtrack Awards.
It's always an honor to attend these festivals, particularly the World Soundtrack Awards, because it's such a refreshing experience to see and witness the camaraderie amongst all of the fellow composers here in these events.
Yeah, the World Soundtrack Awards is always a lot of fun because you get to hang out with all your fellow composers who you never see because we all spend all our lives in dark rooms.
The emotion of going up on a stage and being recognized for your work and recognized by your peers and by your colleagues, it's always something that is a great emotion to prove.
Who can say anything except wow? I'm very pleased. And this orchestra was knockout